Hello, we are here together with Gabriel Kurman, the co-founder of RSK Labs.
Yes.
Formerly known as Rootstock.
Correct.
Happy to have you here at Bitcoin Wednesday. And you're going to have a speech this evening to explain about Rootstock, developments, etc.
Yeah.
What's been happening, what will happen in 2018 and beyond, of course. So first start with the beginning. I mean, how did you come into the space, into the blockchain space, and how does your team currently look like?
Okay, first of all, thank you very much for the invite. We're super happy to be here in Amsterdam. We've been touring all around Europe, meeting with the Bitcoin and blockchain communities, sharing this excitement. It's exciting announcement that we launched the mainnet 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
So now for the first time, we can execute smart contracts secured by the Bitcoin network. The RSK team has been in the space for quite a long time. Diego, CEO and co-founder, created the Bitcoin, the Argentine Bitcoin community with other friends, and we helped 10 other Bitcoin communities to evolve in Latin America. We've been running La Bitconf, which is the longest running Bitcoin and blockchain conference in the region for the last 5 years.
Okay. Longer than Bitcoin Amsterdam?
Yes, but it's an amazing community, the one we have in Latin America. Yeah. And especially in the emerging markets, it's pretty clear why we need Bitcoin and why we need blockchain. Yeah. So this is why.
When did you start with
me
the
myself?
community?
So I got involved in 2013 at La Bitconf in Buenos Aires. Yeah. My personal background is in economics. I worked for private equity and corporate finance all my life. I wanted to become an entrepreneur, and when I got across Bitcoin, it just blew my mind. Yeah. It was very clear that our traditional financial system is leaving half of the population of this planet outside the system, and we have to do something. And now we have the tools to reshape the financial system to make it more inclusive and fair. So since then, I've been working full time on different projects for and non-for-profit. And RSK was built as a necessity in order to join the security of the Bitcoin network with the flexibility and programmability of smart contracts.
That's a use case, right? This is a use case for RSK, formerly known as Rootstock. I still have Rootstock in my head.
Yes.
But that's, let's say, smart contracts on top of the Bitcoin blockchain network.
Exactly. In a nutshell, I would say that RSK is a two-way peg of Bitcoin. So many people know it as a sidechain. In this particular case, it's a drive chain, which is a simplified version. But basically, that allows us to use Bitcoin to pay and execute for smart contracts. So instead of using Ether, for instance, we use Bitcoin. And this is why we have so much support from the Bitcoin community, because this allows us to use Bitcoin at its full potential as a technology. But we also allow Bitcoin miners and the Bitcoin network to merge mine. So with the same infrastructure and with the same energy consumption, now we can secure any kind of tokens and smart contracts, making Bitcoin mining and its energy consumption more efficient. Yeah. So we're basically using the existing infrastructure in the space that was only available to secure Bitcoin in the past. And now for the miners, with zero additional cost and zero loss in efficiency on the Bitcoin mining side, they can also secure smart contracts. Yeah. So every single token that will be developed on RSK will be as secure as a Bitcoin.
That's a very good use case, right? To have smart contracts on the Bitcoin blockchain. So how big is your team? How big is RSK?
So we are around 30 people now, around 25 developers. The team is growing exponentially. We're looking for developers in the community to join us. Everything we do is open source. So we expect every single developer in the crypto space, either working for a Solidity solution in Ethereum or Bitcoin, to join the platform. We open a bug bounty program so the community can get involved. Yeah. And we're really looking forward to get in touch with the community. So we start testing and building applications on top of RSK that can really transform our society in positive ways. Yeah. There's a lot going on in the space, many ICOs, which I think are an interesting way of funding startups. But we always have in mind that ICOs should be a mean to an end. And blockchain revolution is not only about technology, it's a social revolution.
It's about building applications which are useful for society, right?
Exactly.
To create a new society with equal opportunities.
Absolutely. In the end, if we do not provide new services that are more affordable and more secure to the end users and to the billions of users that are currently outside the system, that will have a smartphone with access to the internet for the first time in the next 2 years, then we're not changing anything and we're not adding any value, just putting blockchain technology to the same things that we were doing in the past. So this
is a very good concept, right? To change, let's say, society by using the new technologies. But what is the business model of RSK? I mean, you're building a smart contract platform on top of the Bitcoin blockchain. Where do you earn your money?
Okay, so the way RSK is built, 80% of all the fuel that is generated in the platform goes directly to the miners. So this is why 80% of the total ASIC miners in the world have already implemented or are in the process of implementing the merge mining plugin. It's the best news that they've received in the last couple of years. Now they can have an extra revenue stream by executing and securing smart contracts.
Exactly.
And from the 20% of the fees that we receive, we use that to continue developing the platform. But not only that, I mean, there's something that we've been trying to fix for many years, which is that the full nodes are extremely important for the Bitcoin network. Yeah. They contribute to the decentralization of the network, and they play a key role in the ecosystem. Yeah. But for some reason, or Satoshi at the time decided that we couldn't find a way to reward full nodes for their valuable work. Well, Sergio has developed a way in which you can actually reward full nodes in a secure manner without the possibility of an attack. So we're very happy to share with the community that we're going to use part of those fees of the fuel that's going to be generated on the smart contract layer to reward the RSK full nodes, but also to reward the Bitcoin full nodes. Okay. So this is going to be the first time that a second layer solution, Sidechain or DriveChain on top of Bitcoin, will use part of the income generated on the second layer to reward and contribute to the decentralization of the Bitcoin network.
And what kind of reward? I mean, is it a percentage of the 20% which you are going to distribute amongst the full nodes in the system?
Yeah, it's a percentage. One part of the percentage will go to the federation, which is this group of exchanges that will be providing services, additional layers of security to the RSK users without charging. So we're going to distribute part of the fuel with them. Yeah. Another part will go to the RSK full nodes, and another part will go to the Bitcoin full nodes. And the percentage will start larger at the beginning, and they will reduce over time when we have more fuel. Yeah.
And is there a roadmap somewhere where people can see, or miners can see, okay, this is interesting for me because this is the overview of the revenue stream. I'm going to start a full node or more full nodes, etc. Do you have an overview on your website, or how the revenue stream works?
If anybody wants to see the roadmap and get involved, download the software, the code, check our GitHub. Everything is available on our website. It's rsk.co. We also have a Gitter channel where we can reply all technical questions that the ecosystem and the developers of the world may want to know. Okay. And also we have several non-for-profit projects that we're working on that is interesting also to share with the audience. One is called Blockchain for Humanity. This is a decentralized social accelerator that we're working on with multiple volunteers from around the world. And basically what we're trying to do is just get in touch with the most interesting blockchain projects around the world that are working on something that can improve our society. It could be decentralized ID, micro-lending, transparent government, transparent donations. And we're trying to help them as much as we can. Through our network of contacts, trying to find funding for them so they can reach a proof of concept. And none of these projects need to be running on RSK. Any blockchain,
it can
any
be
project.
Run on Neo, for instance. Or
yes, or Hyperledger or anything. So we really want to make sure that blockchain technology is used to improve our society. It is very important when we talk to regulators and to governments to show them why blockchain technology is so compelling and so important for our society, and hopefully also to inspire newcomers and new entrepreneurs to build something that can really transform our society in positive ways.
It's real community building, what you're doing at the moment, right? So,
absolutely.
But maybe go back to RSK on the Bitcoin blockchain. So what is the difference if you look at the smart contracts, how it be executed, or the language you can program it in, or the adoption? The difference between this and Ethereum blockchain, or the Neo blockchain, or the EOS blockchain, whatever you will have in the pipeline. What's the unique value you will bring to the table?
So it was very important for us to remain compatible with Ethereum. There is an amazing, thriving community developing smart contracts and some amazing projects, and we wanted to make sure that everything we developed was fully compatible. So any smart contract is developed on Solidity or using Web3 is fully compatible with RSK. Yeah. So this is one of the reasons why we had such good feedback from the smart contract and blockchain community, because it's great to have options. So now if the fuel in Ethereum is too expensive for your project or for your specific use case, the network is not working sometimes, or you have some scalability concerns, or you're not certain whether you like proof of stake, well, now you have options. Now you know that your company is going to be okay, because in the future you can also execute those same smart contracts secured by the Bitcoin network. And there are actually multiple projects that are already making available their same solution on the RSK network.
Yeah. Well, what I was wanting to ask is, on Solidity, what I hear is that's not it's a bit immature programming language, right? And not many people can program in Solidity. There are much more wider adopted program languages.
Yes.
Are you also adopting these languages into RSK?
This is very important. So our commitment is to the billions of users that are desperate to use blockchain technology. Yeah. Those billions that need microfinance solution, microloan, micro remittances, micro e-commerce to buy something on the street. In order to reach all those billions of customers, we need thousands of developers. Yeah. It was very important for us on stage one to make sure that all our smart contracts were compatible with Solidity and Web3, because it's what the most thriving community is using today. But in the future, we want to have a smart contract that can be programmed and compiled directly in Java, because most of the developers in the world know how to program Java, and it's very important that they can all participate. So this is something we're going to be working in the pipeline.
Okay, that's good. It broadens up your developer community hugely.
Of course.
If you have more languages supported by RSK.
Yeah.
But go again to the competition, so-called competition, right? I mean, there are many platforms who position themselves as Ethereum killers, right? So Ethereum, in the name of there's a smart contract platform which can execute business logic on top of a blockchain network. So like Neo, EOS, Cardano, etc. So what is exactly what you bring to the table which can differentiate yourself against them?
Yes, well, first of all, we have a philosophical difference. We love every single blockchain platform that is in the space. We think we need thousands of RSKs and Ethereums because we need as many smart people as possible working on open source platforms. Yeah. As long as what we do is open source and it's available to all of us, then there is no competition and it's just collaboration. So everything we do, it's open source and it's available to the Ethereum community, to the Ethereum Classic community, or to any other project. And the same thing with Ethereum, in the Ethereum community. We are very good friends with every single stakeholder in the space. And we actually believe that we're trying to transform the traditional financial system. We understand that we are all pulling in the same direction. Yeah. If you ask me, RSK has a unique possibility of being able to deliver an extremely secure public blockchain, because we are just using the existing infrastructure that is available today secure in Bitcoin. And also, we can have an extremely low cost of execution of fuel for those transactions. In the current mainnet, the minimum transaction cost is 55 cents of a dollar.
Okay.
Compared to a couple of dollars in the Ethereum network. And the reason why we can do that is because our miners just pay for the infrastructure and their electricity with Bitcoin, Coinbase, and fees and fuel. So basically, we are just using infrastructure that was there before available and just creating additional revenues for them. and we can provide that level of security at extremely low cost to our users.
Yeah, the Bitcoin blockchain is really secure, right? Because also of the proof of work.
Yes.
But the proof of work also means that the block times are 10 minutes, transaction times is very, very slow, and the costs are high in the Bitcoin blockchain, right? So how do you compare that with Rootstock? How do you mitigate those problems?
Yeah, so this is very interesting because many people agree that RSK and the Lumino network, that is the third layer that we're building on top of RSK, are the really long-term solutions for the Bitcoin scalability problem. Bitcoin, as you said, has blocks every 10 minutes and can process up to 5 transactions per second. In smart Bitcoins on the RSK layer, you can process up to 400 transactions per second, and you have blocks every 14 seconds. Then they're going to come down to 10 seconds. So that already represents a huge increase in the scalability of Bitcoin. It's on the second layer, so it's good that we have like the long-term store of value on the first layer, but when you need more functionality, then you can go to a second layer where you have more flexibility, programmability, and scalability.
Yeah.
And then with the Lumino network, which is the off-chain payment channel network that Sergio and the team are developing on top of RSK, you can scale up to 20,000 transactions per second on smart Bitcoins or any other token that you develop on RSK.
So this is a payment channel?
Yes.
The
Lumino.
Lumino, but this,
yes.
So what's the difference between the Lightning network?
Well,
also payment channel?
Yes, I would say that Lumino is more comparable to Raiden, because in Lightning, you can only open payment channels for Bitcoin.
Exactly.
And in Raiden or Lumino, you can open payment channels for any token that you have in the underlying platform. Okay, so this is a big difference. Also, with Lightning, you have the problem that you need to deal with a UTXO first layer. Mm-hmm. So that adds some complexities and reduce the potential scalability of Lightning, while on Lumino and Raiden, the underlying layer is it's based on accounts. So that makes it more scalable and easy to work with.
With a wider group, right? If you can change many different coins on that.
Exactly.
That network.
Then another difference with Raiden is that now Raiden created a native token. In order to pursue an ICO, in order to pay a payment channel, you need to use the Raiden token. That is something that even Vitalik criticized. Yeah. In the case of Lumino, there won't be a native token, so you pay for the service with the same token that you are using on your payment channel. Yeah. And there's another innovation that Sergio is working on right now, that is the possibility to make, instead of one-to-one payment channels, to do one-to-many and many-to-one. Yeah. And this is extremely important for low-income people that cannot open multiple payment channels with multiple collaterals at the same time. So they can open just one payment channel with a hub, and through that hub access multiple different payment channels. Okay. This adds centralization, but also reduces the cost. Yeah. So it doesn't mean that it needs to be used for everybody, but if you don't want or you cannot afford to have multiple payment channels open with all the parties you are interacting, then you're going to have the possibility of using these hubs, which is going to be very interesting.
Well, that's interesting developments, right? So you just launched on mainnet with RSK, right? So when will Lumino be launched? What's the status of development on that domain?
Yes, so all that is going to be developed, the initial versions, during 2018. Yeah. We expect to have the directory use case first, which is very important for unbanked or illiterate people that cannot deal with private keys or public keys. So with the directory, which is similar to ENS, on top of RSK, you're going to be able to have your own web domain or blockchain domain to make sure you don't commit mistakes when you're receiving or sending money. Yeah. That's going to be developed before the first half of the year. Right now, the mainnet is on a whitelisting form, because we didn't want in the first couple of months to have a massive ICO on RSK. Yeah. So if you want to access smart Bitcoins to process your smart contracts on the mainnet, the users, the community need to go to rsk.co and apply for the whitelisting. We'll send you some smart Bitcoins for them to play around and to execute smart contracts. And around May, we expect to open the production platform
Okay.
open to everybody.
Open to everybody on the mainnet.
Yes, and something interesting is that eventually on RSK, you're going to be able to do ICOs or token sales directly in Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So you're going to be able to receive Bitcoin and use Bitcoin as store of value, as it should be, and then automatically send tokens to your, for those participating in a token sale.
Okay.
So this is a very interesting architecture because it differentiates the store of value from the business rule layer, which is one of the problems that Ethereum is facing right now, where Ether has become a store of value, and that's bringing a lot of troubles to the network while trying to evolve and innovate faster.
Yeah. So 2018 will be a crucial year, right, for the Bitcoin blockchain, basically, launching RSK, let's say, and then next year you will launch Lumino, the payment platform.
We expect to launch the first version of Lumino during 2018 as well.
18 as well.
Yes.
Also on the testnet or also on
the mainnet? On the mainnet.
Okay.
So a very exciting year.
So it's a big year for you, right?
It's a big year. We are expanding the team very fast. We're most of the team right now is in Latin America, but we are expanding to other regions. We're welcoming developers from all around the world to join the team. So if anyone is interested, you can just contact us and be part of the team.
Okay.
And we're also encouraging every single Bitcoin and blockchain community around the world to start developing these use cases that the world needs so badly in order to build a better society for all of us.
That's a very good closing indeed, because we need to round up this interview. Are there any last remarks, things I didn't ask, which you would like to tell the audience?
No, I would say that RSK is just infrastructure. We're building, hopefully, the most secure and lowest cost smart contract execution platform in the world. But it's now up to us, the community, to build those use cases that will really bring innovation and transform our society. So everybody's welcome to help us build the Internet of Value together on top of the Bitcoin and network infrastructure.
Yeah, and especially apply for the whitelist to start testing.
Absolutely.
With RSK, right?
Yes.
So we see as a wider audience the real mainnet developing somewhere in April, May, right?
Yes, and we are really excited about welcoming the Dutch community, which is one of the most interesting and thriving communities in Europe, to build use cases and count on our help if those use cases have applications in the emerging markets. Yeah. This is where the real blockchain solutions are needed. So we can help you through our NGO or through the RSK team to deploy those use cases in China, in India, in Latin America and Africa, where these use cases are needed the most.
Okay. Well, thanks very much for the interview, and good luck later with your speech.
Thank you very much. Bye.